Welcome into Coach and Company, presented by Afterburn, in theaters September 19th.
Oh, and this is how we get down. What's good, everybody? Welcome in to your Monday here at BTT Studios. And as you know, it's our busiest day of the week. We'll get to the schedule in just a little bit, but I want to welcome you in. I'm the coach. This is Coach and Company. We are on Stadium, Bally Sports Live, every single weekday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And everywhere the stadium lives, Amazon Prime Video, YouTube TV, Roku TV, Direct TV, we are everywhere. Now, yesterday we do have a Sunday show now during the NFL season, and not a bad day, to be honest with you, except for your boy. 10 out of 12 overs came in yesterday. I picked one of the two. That did not. The Cowboys, maybe the best game of the year, but they couldn't cover the 5.5. However, Mikey P, 3 out of 4. My man Raphael, 2 out of 3. We'll take that every single time. And also a big-time thank you to all of you who tuned in last night for our Eagles-Chiefs pop-up, as we like to call it. And, of course, at halftime, Weekday Wager Boys coming in. A little bit of live betting. That show has now been moved, so they'll be at halftime of every Sunday night football game. Now, as for here and the now, last night on our show, Kevin Walls, he gifted 5 premium memberships. So we have 5 new premium members this morning. Thank you, Kevin, for that. But you can become a premium member. We have bonus episodes in the morning every single day. And also we'll be starting our primetime shows more in earnest as college starts playing during the week. And, of course, Thursday Night Football as well. Scan that QR code and become a member today. And also our merch store is live and up and running. And every week, we're adding something new. This one has been very popular, the Model My Ass t-shirt and sweatshirt. Get your merch today. And send us a picture. We'll throw it right up on the show. All right, housekeeping is done. Coming up on the show in 15 minutes, we're doing the Weekend Rewind. Tons of stories from the NFL. And tonight, there are 2 Monday Night Football games. So in addition to all of the shows today, we've got the Monday Night Grind. It's a special start time, 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time, after the Coach and Bro Show, after Off the Ropes on Channel 156 at Sirius. We got a busy day. There is the schedule right there. And again, special start time, 15 minutes early, because the first Monday Night Football game starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, housekeeping done. It's time to get to our business. Oh, my company's here. It's time to beat the books. All right, look who I've got today. It's a glorious Monday morning, and do not forget, if you happen to be watching on YouTube instead of Stadium, hit that like button on your way in. It really helps the show grow, and our chat queen, Kimberly, will handle all the business in there. If you have any questions, you can ask her. Chuck will be in there. Raphael will be in there. Mark will be in there. Any questions for them, they'll answer for you in real time. All right, gentlemen, let's start with the man on the very end. Last night, I'm driving around Southern California, and I hear those Dussel tones on ESPN Game Night. Absolutely fantastic. He goes by one name and one name only. Good morning, Zeno.
Morning, Coach. Good morning, gentlemen. I'm excited for another Monday of Daniel Greer talking about kickers.
Well, you led right to where I was going. He is live from Memphis, Tennessee. DG, what's good?
Good morning, guys. Good morning, Coach. Last night, we had a little special, the halftime special during the Sunday night game, and we talked a little bit of kickers, and we cashed with Tony Romo's cousin, Mr. Romo, the new kicker for the Falcons.
He made a lot of kicks last night. He was asked to kick a lot. And Mr. Koo.
You stink in the red zone. That's what happens. You kick out a field goal.
Well, good for him. Not good for Mr. Koo,
no.
Who is on the bench. He is our numbers guy for a reason. Say good morning to Raphael. Esparza! Good morning, Raphael.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, family. Not good for me because I had the over in last night's game. So all those field goals didn't even keep me close. But this is good. This stat's good for Dirty Chuck right there. LSU is now the biggest liability to win the LSU to win a national championship.
Did you call him Dirty Chuck?
Yeah, Dirty Chuck.
Oh, my goodness. It screams T-shirt. Or it screams cash a parlay. Big Chuck. Did anything get buried over the weekend with all the NFL stuff going on?
Morning, Coachman Company. Speaking of, we got there with our 4-leg parlay. Although Inter Miami almost cost us, they missed a penalty 35 minutes in, but Charlotte saved us, so captured that 4-way parlay, first ever. I think we set a little trend.
I
Raphael
found
clap.
the lighter hosen and made the bet. Whatever it was. So I found it and made the bet.
Never does Lionel Messi miss a penalty kick until we need him. But they still came through. All right, Big Chuck. Can't wait for Footy Friday every single Friday right here on the show. 5-pack. And if you watch live, you get a little bit extra sometimes. A little bit extra. All right, gentlemen. You know I want 5 winning days at the brand. All we try to do is win more than we lose. But you got to start with Monday. A lot of best bets today. 2 games tonight. So, one very DG. He wants all the smoke this morning. DG, best bets. Start us off. Go.
I'm telling you guys, kickers are athletes too. We're going to go with Kaimi Fairbairn over the 1.5 field goals. It's minus 130. Very juicy, but this dude has cashed on 81% of the games last season. Tonight, going against the Bucks, they allowed 2+ field goals in 69% of the games last season. I expect Fairbairn to cash us 2+ field goals again tonight. Let's go to the other game, and yes, it is Dicker the kicker. We're going Cameron Dicker over 6.5 kicking points. It's minus 114. How you get kicking points? It can come from either extra points or field goals. Tonight, we need 8. He did this in 69% of the games last season. Las Vegas, they also allowed 2+ field goals in 69% of the games last season. So I think this cashes again tonight.
Let's be honest. How much did this kid get teased when he was growing up? His last name's Dicker, and he's a kicker. Let that resonate for a second.
Beautiful.
When he's 8, 11, 13. But he's getting the last laugh because he's now in the show. He's now in the show. And all those other kids are watching him on Monday Night Football. All right, DG, great start by you. Zeno, let's keep that flow going. That good vibes from 2 kicker props. Over to you, big boy. Go.
I hope they both lose because I hate kickers. They're the worst humans on the planet. Moving on. Brock Bowers, an actual football player, over 55.5 receiving yards. He didn't even play the full game last week, and he nearly doubled this number going over 100 yards. No, he's questionable in the matchup tonight, but he's a big part of what they're going to do offensively. And if they want to open things up for the young stud Ashton Genty, they're going to need Bowers into the receiving game. He is the one threat that the Chargers have to stop. I don't think they do it. Brock Bowers over 55.5 receiving yards. And we'll flip to the earlier game and go Baker Mayfield over 16.5 rushing yards. Baker has averaged just under 4 attempts since the start of last season, 4 attempts per game. He went over this number easily last week. And oh, by the way, the Texans last week forced immobile Matt Stafford to run 4 times in the game. This is a number he can get in 1-2 carries. Let's go Baker Mayfield over 16.5 rush yards.
That will be in the early game starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time. A reminder, Monday Night Grind starts at 6:45 Eastern time tonight. All right, DG Zeno, thank you very much. Raphael, coming over to you, big boy. Best bets, where you going?
We're going to take the late game in the football, but I heard Bowers will play today. He is questionable, but he did run around last night, so it should be very possible that he'd be there 100%. We're going to take the over in 46.5. Be very cautious on this one. Books are telling me we might see it drop down to 46. Yes, it's only a half a point, but I always fade with the money's coming in because the lights always are on in Vegas. But I think we're going to see pass-happy quarterbacks in this game. I think that's why this number goes over. I'm tired of betting against Geno Smith, so Geno Smith will probably have 5 touchdown passes, and I'll cash my over ticket tonight on this game. And then we're going to go Baker Mayfield over 3.5 rushing attempts. I smell synergy with me and Zeno. I think Baker Mayfield's going to have a lot of rushing attempts. He had 4 last game, rushed for 39 yards his last game. He always plays really well on Monday Night Football, both through his arm and through his leg. So I think he easily goes over 3.5 rushing attempts. I can't believe it's only 3 nickels on this one.
Yeah, it's a fast track, too. This is the same building where Terrence Crawford and Canelo fought on Saturday night. They've turned it into the football field. It's really, really a fast track. So I think those rushing props, I absolutely love them both from you and from Zeno. All right, Big Chuck, coming over to you. What do you got today for us, sir?
Going to the NFL also, Chargers and the Raiders. I'm also expecting points in this one, and I see the visitors putting up their fair share. They've actually averaged 26.1 points the last 10 times they've met Vegas. Play number 1, go ahead and give me the Chargers. Team total over 24.5. Then MLB nightcap, we have the Phillies and the Dodgers, and with the total going over in 6 straight of Phillies games and 9 of the past 10 played in LA, I'll go ahead and back the over 8.5 in La La Land.
Very hot out here. Very, very hot out here. So that helps with the ball flying out of Chavez Ravine. Mark, what are you doing? Did you not get the memo on the dress code on Mondays?
Coach,
no.
You said dress like a champion.
Yeah, but not wearing a medium. What are we doing?
What are you talking about? I've been working out.
So have I.
See? Me and Zeno. New relationship.
All right. I see Nonsense McGee, premium member in the chat, said he had a bunch of kicker props over at JTS over the weekend, courtesy of DG. So Nonsense, thank you for being a member over there. Thank you for being a member here. Mark, what do we have today? How did the model do the last, a week?
Which one, Coach? Because when you know what? The simple answer, have been on fire because all 3 of them have just been literally cashing tickets left and right.
Which are you're speechless today. What 3 are they, Mark? Enunciate to me.
So, for example, the Major League Baseball, the run line model last night nailed all 3 of the run line plays that it identified. College football, we had another big weekend in college football against the spread, and I know Raphael's here, so even with those minus 200 plays, we did very, very well. And NFL is just been straight fire, especially on the money line.
All right, very, very good. Let's keep it going today. What's our JTS play of the day?
We are starting with Philadelphia Philly Bryson Stott to get over at least 1 hit, run, or RBI. Look, the reason it's 1 hit, run, RBI is because he bats 7th in the lineup, and he's gone over in 14 of his last 15 games. He's over in 7 of 8 games against the Dodgers. Love this spot for him tonight. And then we are going with Justin Herbert to get over 230 passing yards against the Raiders. Forget that he's done it in 5 of his last 5 games. His last 4 games in Vegas, he's averaging almost over 100 yards beyond this line. Put them both together, you get a plus 131, just a Stat Sports play of the day.
All right, there is the QR code. We'll give you that first month for $1, NFL 100. If you go there and you join and you have any questions, come to the show. Put the questions into the chat. If you're wondering about run lines, spreads, totals, the cappers, whatever it is, come ask us. We'll walk you through it, and we want you to be a part of what we are doing. Real quick, because I noticed nobody threw in a future Game 2 WNBA play today. A little confused by that. Because nobody watched their games yesterday. Raphael, the Fever lost by 12.
Well, I'm shocked that they're in the playoffs with so many injuries they had, but the Aces won again, 102-77. The total was 160.5. It got bet.
Nobody's watching. You got bet. What's that?
I was watching. I was watching.
So did I, actually.
You watched the WNBA too?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Why?
I only watched 30 seconds of it because I switched it over. It was on ESPN, and I wanted to see the highlights of all the bad beats that I had yesterday. And then I had to watch like the last quarter of that game and overtime. All right, gentlemen, well done. I feel a ton of green check mark coming our way today. All right, we're just getting started. Still to come, we've got our weekend rewind. Where are Daniel Greer and Mr. Zeno taking us today? We'll each have 2 from the weekend in the NFL. That's how talking colleges this morning. Then at the bottom of the hour, 2 Monday Night Football games tonight. We're breaking down the Bucks at the Houston Texans, and then late night, little confusing, a 10 p.m. start on a Monday. Hey, NFL can do what they want to do. It's the Chargers. It is the Raiders in Vegas. And also, Scottie Scheffler did something on Sunday that only 3 other legends have ever done. We'll tell you. Just getting started. Coaching Company, presented by Afterburn, right here on Stadium.
Too easy.
Hello, mate.
Wait a minute. You guys aren't real cops, are you?
Oh, damn. solar flare hit, we lost our humanity. You saw what people did to the world burn. The monsters they became. If we're to rebuild, we have to hold on to every masterpiece of human achievement. Jake, you have a gift for acquiring treasures.
And what would I be hunting down this time?
Mona,
The Mona Lisa?
in all her motherfucking glory.
Guessing you're my contact. We're headed to the worst place on the planet. There's nothing there but disease and warlords. Yeah, this is definitely a bad idea.
The world is a gladiatorial arena. A worthy opponent is hard to find.
I could have taken that guy.
You're welcome.
We just flew into a war zone. Jumped out of a plane for the first time. Got attacked by a tank. And all this for a painting? I don't get it. What's going on that everybody's willing to die for it?
Want our world back, Jake, from these agents of chaos.
We got work to do. I love this song. They're all over us. How many tanks does this guy have? Oh, shit.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's Coach and Company on a glorious, busy Monday here at BTT Studios. I believe we have 5 different shows that we're going to produce today. So easiest thing to do is subscribe to both of our YouTube channels, Behind the Turnbuckle and Coach and Company. Turn on those notifications, and you will be notified every time a show starts. Now, Raphael, I need to see that face. 2 Monday night games tonight. I need a little nugget to kind of wet my whistle a little bit. Let's start with game number 1, the Bucs and the Texans.
Yeah, keep an eye out for this one because we could see Houston move to 3. And not because people are betting the 2.5. They're betting the money line. Houston's money line bet coming in. There's minus 155 on the money line. A point spread of 2.5. The money line should be minus 135, minus 140, depending on home and visiting team. Everyone's betting the money line on Houston. So that'd be the reason why they move it to 3. So if you like the Bucs, wait for the +3.
I noticed over the weekend that there was a big difference between a money line for a 3-point spread in college and the juice for the NFL. It's way higher in the NFL for a 3-point spread. Why is that?
Because more money comes in on the NFL and more money comes in on money line parlays in the NFL than college football.
That makes a lot of sense. All right, Raphael will be back bottom of the hour to talk everything Chargers and Raiders. All right, it's time to look back at an amazing, maybe the most exciting weekend that we've ever had in the NFL. Time for a little weekend rewind. All right, this is the time of the show. Every single Monday, we look back on some of the biggest storylines from the weekend in football. And DG, I'm going to start with you because there's 1,000 different things that we could go to. What is your first this morning, sir?
Yeah, I want to look at the passing leaders right now after week 2. And I get that there's 4 QBs that have not played yet. But you would think it's all the big names, right? You were thinking Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. But now Joe Burrow's hurt, right? And Patrick Mahomes really hasn't got it together yet. So let's look at the 5 guys who are leading. Yes, is that Russell Wilson's name, who is the passing leader in the NFL? But also you got Daniel Jones, who would have thought? You got Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, and rounding it out is Matt Stafford. If you went back into a time machine, some of these guys, yes, that does make sense just because they have the caveat. They have the name in Russell Wilson and honestly Matt Stafford. But we're looking at maybe a flip. Maybe there is a resurgence. Maybe Russell Wilson is good, but also Daniel Jones. Now, this is twice in the past 2 weeks that we've talked about Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I'll be talking about the Colts here in a minute, but he played really good. I watched the entire game. He played really good football. He's throwing great passes, good leadership. The Colts are 2-0 for the first time since 2009.
Crazy.
So, and Russell Wilson, I've never seen a player have all the announcers go, man, this is vintage. So was the interception in overtime. Right. Wow. All right. Love looking at those quarterbacks. All right. Zeno, what is your first weekend rewind storyline today?
Real quick before I get to mine, Coach, I remember last year when Derek Carr and the Saints scored 90 points in the first 2 games, the whole world on fire, and then stunk for the final 15. Daniel Jones and the Colts are doing well. Let's pump the brakes a little. We got a long season ahead of us. My first part of the weekend, or my biggest story, is the fact that Taylor Swift has ruined Travis Kelce and the Kansas City Chiefs all by herself. Because Mickey Goldmill once told Rocky very poignant words, which are, women weaken legs. Travis Kelce is not the player that he once was. And in the big picture, this is what is the problem with the Chiefs offense. He's a step slower. He's not catching the football. People can cover him single coverage now. It's not changing defenses anymore. This is why the Chief offense is struggling. It's not because of lack of weapons on the outside, because the year after they traded Tyreek Hill, they still won the Super Bowl because Travis Kelce was the most dominant player on the football field. He's just not that guy anymore. Father Time has caught up to him. Woman has caught up to him, and he is now Charmin soft.
I disagree. You said he was one step slower. I believe he's 2 or 3 steps slower. I mean, this guy, it's amazing how much he's fallen off. But I heard 2 guys last night on ESPN radio talking about what I've talked about many, many times that nobody wanted to admit, that when you're flying around the world chasing your boo thing to 6 different continents, literally, there's no way you can work out. And when you get to be 34 and 35 years old, you got to put in extra time. Physically, there's no way he could have done it. And it's showing. Now, he doesn't want to admit it, but it's showing. So I agree with that storyline. All right, my first storyline, you talk about pumping the brakes. You talk about falling off a cliff. After game number 1, Aaron Rodgers was the toast of the town. So was J.J. McCarthy with the comeback win of the Chicago Bears until we get to week number 2. And Aaron Rodgers, home opener, everybody's going bananas for him. And the Steelers give up 31 to Seattle and the Fighting Sam Darnolds. They lose 31-17. All of a sudden, Aaron Rodgers isn't the guy that he was in week number 1. And what about the Vikings last night? They get blown out at home by the Falcons, could not score. So J.J. McCarthy, Aaron Rodgers, as Zeno likes to say, let's pump the brakes a little bit on crowning them future Hall of Famers for both guys. All right, DG, coming back around to you. What is storyline number 2?
Yeah, I want to talk about kickers, but one special kicker to me, Brandon Aubrey of the Dallas Cowboys. This guy was not in football until the last 2 years. He was a 4-year starter for Notre Dame, and then he got drafted in the first round, 21st overall by Toronto FC, and then he went over to the UFL. But between there was a time he got married. He was a software engineer, and then his wife leaned over to him during an NFL Sunday and said, I think you could do that. And talking about kicking field goals. And since then, he put in the time, he put in the work, went over to the Birmingham Stallions within the UFL in the first season, spent 2 years there, and to now becoming the best and most accurate kicker in the NFL currently. He started off his rookie season, 35 straight field goals. That is the all-time record. It used to be 18. Yeah, he obliterated that with 35 straight. Brandon Aubrey, a 64-yarder to tie the game and send it to overtime yesterday. And then the winning field goal was awesome.
I don't know that I've ever seen a team actually play to set up a 60-yard field goal. We saw it twice yesterday, but this one, it was a handoff up the middle and just get down. We're good. And he made that. That would have been good from 70. This guy is amazing. He's the biggest weapon maybe in the history of the NFL. You don't even have to get basically to Zeno. I don't need the – okay. Zeno, what's your storyline number 2?
Guys,
what's your storyline number 2?
Kickers, settle down.
It's fine. We don't do it every time. But what's your storyline number 2?
Oh, the coach is mad at me now.
Nope, not at all.
He's very upset with me.
Nope.
And you know who else is upset, Coach?
Who's that?
The large number of people who bet on Joe Burrow to win the MVP because those are basically toilet paper. Look, Burrow took the largest number of bets at several sports books to win the MVP this year. And it's not going to happen, unfortunately, because his foot injury and surgery have basically ended his season. there's literally not a legitimate reason why he should come back in the middle of December. I don't believe in Jake Browning to be able to carry this team long term. And it's a really unfortunate situation because the Bengals, who are already teetering on the cusp in the AFC of falling off into the category of the have-nots, now will definitively do that. They don't have the roster. And without Joe Burrow to cover up a ton of the warts that are there on this team, Jake Browning is not going to survive with a defense they can't protect him, nor a running game and offensive line they can't protect him either. This is true. The Bengals, the last 5 years, and Joe Burrow has never had an offensive line that graded out anywhere higher than 26th in the league at any point in time. Life is going to get very difficult for Jake Browning very fast.
This sucks. They're 2-0. Now, they weren't pretty, but yesterday it was like just teeter-totter, back and forth, tie, lead. It sucks. It sucks for Joe Burrow, and maybe he's just one of – there's a lot of guys in a lot of sports that are very injury-prone, and maybe Joe Burrow is one of those guys. So it sucks for Cincinnati. It sucks for Bengals fans, and it sucks for those guys, who bet on him to win the MVP. No doubt. He's going to be out at least 3 months with – call it something other than turf toe. That just sounds like such a weak injury. It really does. All right, my storyline number 2, and then I want your guys' reaction to this. 2 of the worst bad beats that a lot of people wouldn't look at as a bad beat. The Broncos were laying 1 yesterday. They were up 28-20. They had a couple of stops, and then Bo Nix throws an interception. Here comes the Colts. They, too, just handed the ball off, setting up a 60-yard field goal with a kicker who's never hit a 60-yard field goal in the NFL. He's never hit a 55-yard field goal in the NFL. So why would a defensive lineman do something you're not allowed to do, which is jump over the center? It's a personal foul. He missed it to the right, gets another kick from 45 yards, straight down the middle. Broncos, you did it to yourself. And Broncos bettors are pissed, but not as pissed as Cardinals bettors. 27-3. A minute to go in the third quarter. It's all good, laying 6.5. And then Bryce Young in Carolina, they scored 19 straight points. They get the onside kick. They have a chance to win the game. And then the Cardinals decide, let's make a stop and win by 5. DG, those were 2 of the worst bad beats that most people didn't see because they were watching a boring game at Arrowhead between the Eagles and the Chiefs at the same time.
Yeah, let's talk about that first game because before the kick that missed, there was a penalty for Denver. Will Lutz missed a 42-yard field goal, which would have put them up by 6, forcing them to the Colts to have to come down and score a touchdown, which I don't believe they would have done anyway. So that's buffoonery number 1. And then you did what you did to jump over the center, creating that leverage. There was 2 bad mistakes realistically. And so, yes, it is a kicker missing a field goal. That is one bad for sure. But yes, jumping over the center is just stupid.
Zeno, the Cardinals, are they ever going to be anything different with Kyler Murray? He literally shuts himself down. They played great for 2.5 quarters and then did nothing. It was a really bad beat when it comes to the spread. They're 2-0 though.
Well, that's why you do what I did and you tease the Cardinals down to essentially a pick 'em, and you just take them in survivor pools. So thank God I didn't watch the end of that game. Thank God I was not, because what's left of my hair would have been pulled out.
It was brutal. It was when they got the onside kick.
Yeah,
that was brutal.
That's where you just start to get really nauseous and just succumb to your own doom. Not going to go well. But to your point here, Coach, like Kyler Murray is not to be trusted at quarterback. That's why I said the opening week 1. There's not a world where Kyler Murray should be laying 6.5 points on the road to anybody, even though they won the game. But it's just he cannot be trusted to cover numbers like that at any point. Doesn't matter where the game is played. Arizona, on the road, on the moon, doesn't matter.
He can't be trusted to wear an outfit that anybody else would wear either. His clothes are ridiculous with a capital R. All right, gentlemen, good job on the Weekend Rewind. We have 2 more games that we have to look forward to tonight. On the other side, we're talking Bucks and Texans, and then a late start, 10 p.m. Eastern time in Vegas. It's Chargers and Raiders. We'll break it all down for you next. This is Coach and Company, presented by Afterburn, right here on Stadium and Valley Sports Live. All right, gentlemen, another storyline we did not get to. And Zeno, I'll start with you on this one. The Dolphins, another poor performance yesterday as Drake May and the Patriots beat them. Mike McDaniel says, hey, even though we're 0-2, I'm not worried about anything. Certainly not my job. Should he be?
Well, he's saying that publicly. He knows he's going to get fired if things don't turn around pretty quickly. I mean, it briefs well. I'm not worried about my job security because then I'm not doing my job. Well, yes, that sounds great, but in reality, when your team is this porous, this bad, this undisciplined, and this ineffective at this point in time, you can't fire the players. If you want to change the course of direction, you got to fire the coach. And I don't think Mike McDaniel lasts past the bye week.
Yeah, the bloom is kind of off the rose, DG, when it comes to him. 27 points they scored, but they gave up 33 to the Patriots, who just got pasted by the Raiders last week. Your thoughts?
Yeah, if you look at Mike McDaniel, he's a coach that's, honestly losing the locker room because you're seeing a strife between, Tyreek Hill and then also Tua. But you have good pieces on this team, but their defense, it's like shredded lettuce in a sense. Like you can just go right through it at this point because that's their biggest thing. So they have the offensive positions that they have where it's actually really good. But unfortunately, they can't put anything together on the defensive side to help them out on the offensive side at all.
Yeah, they really can't. 20 seconds, Zeno. Are the Bills the luckiest team in the NFL to get to play in this division with these three other teams?
No, because I mean it's not fair to phrase it that way that they're the luckiest. They just did their jobs better than the other three teams do. That's a credit to their front office. Don't take that away from them because the other three front offices stink.
Or as DG likes to say, they
suck.
You're damn right they do. All right, we are halfway home here on Coach and Company. Coming up right now, we're going to break down both of the Monday Night Football games tonight. And also, we've got Raphael with another little nugget. I hope you write these down because more times than not, they come into play when you're talking about Monday Night Football. And a quick reminder, Monday Night Grind, special start time tonight, 6:45 p.m. Eastern time, right here on our YouTube page. All right, we're back live in 5 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. Coach and Company presented by Afterburn here on Stadium and Bally Sports Live. We'll get to Monday Night Football here in a moment. We do want to remind you, as we cross the bottom of the hour, I want to say welcome. There's a lot of new names in the chat today, so welcome to all of you. If you have any questions about the chat, put them to Kimberly. She'll answer them for you. Also, members of the crew are in the chat as well, so welcome to our show. Now, we're going to be starting some primetime premium shows the next couple weeks. As soon as Maction is here, you also get an extra episode every single morning, 5 to 10 minutes. If you are a premium member. Last night, Kevin Walls gifted 5 memberships, so thank you to Kevin. You can become a premium member right now, or you can represent the brand by getting your merch. And our featured merch item this week, the Model My Ass t-shirt, sweatshirt. You could also get hats and cell phone covers and a little bit of everything. Check it out. Just scan that QR code. Raphael, I need to see your face. We've got a second game tonight. It's the Chargers on the road at the Raiders. Somebody is going to lead this division at 2-0. Which team will it be? What's the nugget you got for me?
It's going to be very interesting. And I love it when line moves when you're live on TV because the first book just moved this total to 47. So are we going to see a copy and paste throughout the rest of the day? Very interesting. But I'm going to go for quarterback prop. Justin Herbert, his passing yards opened up at 239.5. Price Picks, what are you doing at 239.5? Now it's 255.5. That's a huge difference. I think this one drops. You can probably get 252.5 by kickoff.
All right, very good. And I know you'll have all the nuggets tonight for Monday Night Grind. You pumped about that?
I'm always pumped for Monday Night Grind.
We've got 2 Legends lounges tonight. So people got to be tuned in right at the top of the show because we have to do one before 7 o'clock because the first game starts at 7. And then we'll do the second one later in the show. I think I've got the winners, though. Producer Man's the only one in the club right now, or in the lounge, as Seabass said. Is that a little shocking to you that Producer Man is the only one that got it right last week?
No, I'm asking how much does it cost to just get in? I'll pay now these days. I'll pay to get in.
Right. We just slide him a hundo. We just get in, hang out with Producer Man. We'll blur his face and the whole deal. All right, Raphael, thank you very much. Raphael will be in the chat. Any questions, he'll answer them for you in real time. All right, it's Monday. That means it's time, very simply, for a little Monday kickoff. All right, you degenerates out there, not one but 2 games tonight. We're going to start 7 p.m. Eastern time. The Bucs looking to move to 2-0 after a win last week against Atlanta. taking on the Texans, who looked very methodical, very sloppy, very slow on a fast track against the Rams. So, DG, let's start with you, because the Bucs tonight, they have a chance to really put their foot down, really cement themselves in another division that they could dominate, and halfway through the season have a really nice lead if they can handle business in games like tonight.
Yeah, I think they can. Obviously, I trust Baker Mayfield and I trust CJ Stroud within this game, and so because of that, like if you look at the money line, that's fine. It's not juicy enough for me when I'm getting points, and so what I would do is look at that 2.5 spread for Tampa. And in all honesty, I'm probably going to buy that extra half point to get me to the field goal, just because I think that both field goal kickers are really good and they trust them. Because of that, I think they might rely on them late in the game, and so if I can get at least a push. Give me those +3 for Tampa Bay.
It feels like a game to me. I agree with that analysis, but also, Zeno, we saw some teams yesterday that have really good, strong quarterbacks, the Ravens being one and the Bills. If you look at their point total, you're like, man, they must all had big games. All they did was enough to win the game and move on, because it doesn't matter what their numbers are anymore. They just want to win the big one. Baker Mayfield, to me, is in that category. I'd be very careful attacking the over in this one, because if they get a lead against Houston, I think they'll do the same thing the Rams did last week and just kind of get to the finish line, try to be injury free, and just get to 2-0.
Yeah, but this is a classic case of what we saw similarly on Sunday Night Football between the Falcons and the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
A team in the Buccaneers who won in week one that probably shouldn't have, and a team in week one of the Texans that lost the game they probably shouldn't have. And so I think those things, change the outcome in the line of where we are right now, because had that script been flipped, this number is over 3. And so I look at there's a little bit of value here on the Texans. I shopped around, found a -135 money line. I think Houston's a side tonight. I mean, the Buccaneers, the one thing they have in their pocket here is they have one of the best run defenses in the league, and they can make a team one-dimensional, and that'll be something that's really going to fall back on C.J. Stroud to have a good game and really have C.J. Stroud return back to the quarterback that he was his rookie year, because we haven't seen it much since the end of his rookie year.
Yeah, no doubt about it. One of the weapons that the Texans are missing is Tank Dell. And when I look at BetMGM to the receiving numbers, Nico Collins is at 75.5. He's a stud, but he doesn't have Dell DG on the other side. And I think that could be an issue. And you got Mike Evans and Emeka Egbuka for Tampa. So they have the 1-2. The 1-2 for the Texans is Dalton Schultz, a tight end, and Nico Collins. So I think that's an advantage for the Bucs.
I believe it is, but honestly, you look at this Bucs defense, they struggle against the tight end. And so that's why if you look at this number for Schultz, it's at 35.5. That's kind of an inflated number for a tight end that isn't going to see a lot of targets, but I think that he can get there. I like Schultz over in this game. Other than Nico Collins, I think that they're going to be targeting Nico, maybe putting somebody over top of him so he can't really get loose. And hopefully, if they can do that, they feel like they can stay in the game and they won't get beat by Schultz. So I like Schultz more than Nico in this game.
We've seen a lot of teams really lean in to using the tight end. Mm-hmm. The Chiefs have a tight end that's aging, but look at the Colts. That guy's a stud. Look at Brock Bowers. That guy's a stud. And I think Dalton Schultz, he may not be as good and as athletic as them, but man, can he produce. Do you think that Dalton Schultz, because of what DG just said, Zeno, will have a big game tonight? His number, by the way, I just lost it because I went to the rushing number. His number is 35.5. It's not crazy.
No, I mean, look, tight ends, here's the problem with them. Unless they create a wild mismatch, it's more about game plan and philosophy. And I don't know that Dalton Schultz necessarily creates a mismatch that the Buccaneers can't handle. So that's something that I try to stay away from because, again, if it's not in the game plan to exploit that part of the defense with the tight end, then it don't look that way. I mean, you can go back to last week, or what was it, the Bears-Vikings game. T.J. Hawkinson was a mirage in that game. He just was not part of the game plan. And if he's not part of the game plan, guess what? As a second or third option on every pass route, you might not even get a look that way. So it's tough for me to look at that because I don't see Dalton Schultz as this massive mismatch like we would see with other tight ends out there who really create that kind of separation like Brock Bowers does for the Raiders. So it gives me a little pause to look at Schultz in that manner.
What's the kid real quick from the Colts who ran all over that defense yesterday? What's his name?
Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren. Oh, my God. How good is that guy?
Very
My
good.
God. They couldn't guard him. They put Surtain on him. Surtain couldn't stay with it. And he was the defensive player of the year a year ago. All right, gentlemen, solid analysis on game number 1. Let's flip it over, producer man, to game number 2. And somebody is going to have a 2-game lead on the Kansas City Chiefs in this division. That's a huge, huge deal. It hasn't happened in 8 years. So here are the numbers. The Chargers favored on the road. Zeno, I'll start with you on this one. -3.5. They went to Brazil. So they've had, 10 days off to get back, get reacclimated. And then, of course, the NFL schedule makers say, hey, how about you travel to Vegas? It's only an hour flight. Your take on this one?
Love the Raiders in this spot here. I mean, Chargers are fat and happy coming off a big win, and the Chiefs set up for an emotional letdown spot against a team that everybody perceives is not that good, that's actually gotten better. Pete Carroll is the adult back in the room and knows exactly how to scheme against a guy like Jim Harbaugh. You have the Chargers offensive line that was been in a state of flux with Rashawn Slater's injury. And you get Max Crosby and a good defensive front of the Raiders on the other side. The only way the Raiders get exploited in this game is in their secondary. And if the Chargers take advantage there, they have a good chance to win this game. But still, getting a field goal at home for the Raiders' home opener on Monday Night Football feels like a good spot, an optimal spot to take the Raiders plus the points here.
And you mentioned the word teaser a couple of minutes ago. This feels like a good teaser spot for the Raiders to make them 9.5. That would feel pretty good to me.
I think there's an argument to tease both the Buccaneers and the Raiders tonight and take them both over a touchdown.
Boom. There you go. Now, DG, let me come over to you because the Chargers have a guy that maybe a lot of fringe fans don't know yet, but he's becoming an absolute stud for the Chargers, and that's Ladd McConkey. His number at BetMGM, 72.5, -115. Brock Bowers is the highest for the Raiders. How much do you like Ladd McConkey tonight?
I like Ladd a lot. I think that he can get loose in this game. But the only thing I would look at is maybe his receptions. I haven't looked at that number. But if I'm looking at that, I want to see, because he is that possession type guy, because you do have Quentin Johnston who can take the top off a little bit. But I like Ladd as their possession guy. So the number on the receiving yards worries me because 70, 80 can be tough, especially against this Raiders team.
5.5, but it's juiced to -135 on McConkey's catches.
Yeah, I think he gets a 6 for sure.
He gets a 6? Okay. Bowers is at 6.5, and I know you have him as a best bet already, Zeno, but whenever you have a receiver with 6.5 or higher, that's a really hard number to get to unless they're getting 11 or 12 targets. So I'd be a little scared on Brock Bowers. What do you make of him on the reception side of it?
I mean, he is the primary target. There's nobody on the outside for the Raiders that they really can look to the ball to. So they actually run plays and design the offense around Bowers being the first read to get the ball. And so the requisite target share, I think, is going to be there for him. I think he had 10 targets last week and 6 receptions. So, and that's before he went out of the game. He didn't even play the whole thing. So I think the target share will be there for Bowers. What you need to do with the Raiders here, Coach and DG, is you need to find the receiver on the outside while their value is low for the next 2 games. That's consistently being looked at. You know, you got receivers in the 30s and 40s range, which is pretty easy for most receivers to get over. Find that guy, do the scouting on the game plan, and figure out who they're going to throw to and get him before the market moves on the guy.
Yeah, you got guys like Quentin Johnston. You got Keenan Allen, who's back with the Chargers. Jacoby Myers is on the Raiders side. All those guys are in the 30 to 50 or 60 yard mark. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll break down these games a lot more tonight on the Monday Night Grind, starting at 6:45 Eastern Time, right here on the Coach and Company YouTube page. All right, gentlemen, well done on the breakdowns. Still to come, we're going to lock it in. We've got all of our best bets. For those of you who are not here at the top of the hour, we'll break those down for you. And also, Scottie Scheffler continues to do Tiger Woods types of things, including something he did on Sunday that only Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, and Arnold Palmer have ever done. What is it? I'll tell you on the other side. This is Coach and Company, presented by Afterburn, live on Stadium and also on Bally Sports Live. All right, we just talked about the Raiders. Well, in the same building on Saturday, Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez went at it, and it was an absolute clinic, DG, by Terrence Crawford at 38 years of age. This was kind of his swan song for big fights. He dominated Canelo Alvarez in a unanimous decision, and then in a class move, returned all the belts to Canelo in the press conference afterwards. How impressed were you with Terrence Crawford?
I was super impressed. Like, he was so quick. Like, I was watching his hands, and he was able to get in there, 2-3 shots. And one of those, I believe it was a hook that hit Alvarez, and it completely like shocked him, where he took a step back, was like, okay. His hands were so quick. I was honestly amazed because he was having to go up a little bit and wait. I was shocked with how quick he was.
I think a lot of people got caught up in that, including myself, instead of looking at it. Teddy Atlas, Zeno, after the fight, he was screaming. He was so excited. He goes, "That's the sweet science. That's the sweet science." I mean, that's what legends are made of in front of 60,000.
Yeah, and when you have technically skilled fighters like Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, it makes for a better fight overall. But what Crawford did there, really in unifying the belts and everything else and becoming an undisputed super middleweight champion, it just feels like, this is what we want out of boxing again, where there is one guy that everybody has to chase now, and it makes it better and more entertaining for the sport to watch.
Turki Ali Sheikh from Saudi Arabia, who was sitting next to Dana White, he wants these big fights, and he makes no bones about it. He's like, I'll pay the guys, but they better come in and bang. And I think Terrence Crawford, they earned the money, which sometimes in a Canelo fight, they don't.
Yeah, and I'm glad that we actually saw that competition, honestly. And I know Crawford kind of dominated a lot of the rounds, but realistically, like, Alvarez was there. Like, he could have hit one of those and put Crawford back a little bit. But yes, it was a dominant fight completely by Crawford.
And Canelo was completely humble in the press conference. He gave all the credit to Crawford. He said that he was much better than Floyd Mayweather, who he fought early on in his career. So I think both guys probably are on their way out. They made like 40, 50 million each. So they're good to go. We're back live in 5 seconds.
How many tanks does this guy have?
Welcome back to Coach and Company, presented by Afterburn, in theaters September 19th.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Coach and Company here on Stadium and Bally Sports Live, presented by Afterburn. Thank you to the movie in theaters on Friday. I'm going to kind of miss Afterburn, but hopefully we'll have another movie coming in their place. Now, sometimes when you get to the NFL, guys, season, other sports kind of disappear. And the Ryder Cup is coming up next week. So Keegan Bradley asked the entire team to go play in an event in Napa. And they did. And Bryson DeChambeau even showed up, even though he couldn't play. This team is all in. But Scottie Scheffler, no matter where he goes, no matter where he plays, he brings his A game. It took him 4 rounds to get there, but he wins his 6th tournament of the year. He did something that only Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, and Arnold Palmer have ever done. That's win at least 6 times in consecutive seasons. It's his 19th PGA Tour title, and this man, he may never get to Tiger numbers, but damn it, he deserves our respect, and now he heads to the Ryder Cup, DG, as clearly the leader of Team USA.
Yeah, I was watching those numbers throughout the weekend, and I didn't see Scheffler there. He was, climbing a little bit. And then I got the notification on my phone Sunday that he won. I was like, where in the world did he come from? It just shows you that the dude can close. And if you know anything about golf, it's on those weekends. If you just kind of get in, make the cut, and then you have those top level A players, they can close on that Saturday and Sunday. And it's awesome to watch.
One of the wives afterwards, Zeno, in the PGA Tour loves to shoot behind the scenes stuff. And she came and goes, thank God. Next week, we don't have to play against you. We can play with you. I think that's where he's gotten to. The numbers, if you're betting on him, he's plus 300 or less in a full field event. You can't bet him anymore. He's gotten to the point like Tiger Woods that if you bet on him and you brag about it, you're bragging about winning no money. That's how good he's become.
Well, winning money is better than losing it. So I would never sit here at this point, and I didn't do this with Tiger, because we weren't, as big at betting in golf as we are now.
Correct.
You're holding a Scottie Scheffler to win ticket, even if it's at plus 250. It's not a bad bet because he's likely going to win, and you're not going to lose money, right? So I'm with you. It's not a lot of quote value, as they say, but it's never bad to be holding a Scottie Scheffler to win ticket. Now, do I prefer to wait a round or two and see if his value drops and put him in position? You know, when he's 4 strokes back on a Saturday or 5 strokes back on a Saturday, yeah, then I'll get 4-1 or 5-1 and jump on it. But what he's doing to the field and how much he's dominating the thing, I can't get mad. Now, again, bragging about it, hey, I got a Scottie Scheffler ticket.
A lot of people like to.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, just don't brag about bets, period. Keep that stuff to yourself.
There you go.
Don't worry about it. Keep your numbers private. Beyond all that, I don't think it's ever bad to have a Scottie Scheffler to win ticket in your pocket.
I did all of the betting shows for the signature events this year for ESPN Bet PGA Tour Live, and that's exactly what we ended up doing. Is that even at 4 or 5 back on the weekend, it's crazy how the books, you'll see like the odds next to their name, and it'll be like plus 2,000 plus, and then Scheffler will be down here and it'll be like plus 450. We're like, wait a second, he's 6 back, but they will not price him correctly. But that's when you got to do it if you want to get more than the plus 300. So congratulations to Scottie Scheffler. Also, Ben Griffin. A lot of people don't know who this guy is, but a few years ago, I called his Corn Ferry Tour event. When he got his card, he had quit the game. And an insurance guy, you see it on his right side of his shirt, bankrolled him for 2 years, played a round with him and said, you're really good. He goes, yeah, I can't afford to play anymore. He goes, I'll pay for 2 years. In those 2 years, he got his tour card, and now this year he made $4 or $5 million, and he finished second yesterday, and he's on the Ryder Cup team. That's how I love golf. Love golf. Love stories like that. All right. We need to get off to a winning week. All right. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, to lock it in. All right, 10 seconds or less, 1 or 2 nuggets is all I need on each individual play. DG, start us off.
Anytime I can get Kaimi Fairbairn over 1.5 field goals at minus 130 or better, I'm going to take it. This dude is legit tonight. 2 field goals at minus 130. I like it in the first game. And then the second game, we have Dicker the kicker. We're going Cameron Dicker over 7.5 kicking points at minus 114. Anytime he's had the 2 field goals, he's also had at least 8 kicking points. Because of that, we like to go over the 7.5 kicking points at minus 114.
Very good. Mr. Zeno, go.
Brock Bowers over 55.5 receiving yards. He's the main target there. He'll get the requisite target share required. He went over this number and didn't even play a full game last week. He should go over it against the Chargers team in this game tonight. And then Baker Mayfield over 16.5 rushing yards. Baker's averaged nearly 4 attempts per game since the start of last season. He went over this number last week. And the Texans defense forced a mobile Matt Stafford to rush 4 times last week. Baker should go over 16.5.
All right, Mr. 4-leg parlay. Big Chuck, what do you got today?
We'll stick with the NFL, Chargers, Raiders, and I like the visitors to put up their fair share of points. Give me the Chargers team total over 24.5. They've averaged 26.1 their last 10 meetings versus the Raiders. You could also look at the Raiders team total over 20.5. Plus, MLB, haven't forgot about you. Phillies, Dodgers, the over 8.5. The overs went over 6 straight in Phillies games, and 9 of the last 10 played in La La Land. And in the Texans game, like the Texans to roll tonight, look at the Bucs team total under, and maybe Baker to throw a pick.
Little hashtag stay on your toes play there from Chuck. Like it.
You already know.
You already know, kid. All right, Raphael, what do you got?
I think DG said he was going to buy a 0.5 point. There's already a 3 on Houston Texans, so wait to buy that 0.5 point. We're going to take the Chargers Raiders over 46.5. Chargers beat the Raiders last year in Vegas 34-20, so I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. And then give me Baker Mayfield over 3.5 rushing attempts, laying the 3 nickels. He's hit this prop 3 straight games. I think he goes 4 straight tonight.
All right, and finally, our JTS play of the day. Marky Model is what?
We're going with Philadelphia's Bryson Stott to get over 1 hit, run, or RBI tonight. We don't care which category it is. We just need 1. He's done this in 14 of his last 15 games and 7 of his last 8 against the Dodgers. And we're going to pair that with Justin Herbert to go over 230 passing yards. You heard from Chuck and from Raphael why they are liking the Chargers in this one. Herbert's averaging 344 passing yards against the Raiders. Put them both together, you get a plus 131. Just Stat Sports play of the day.
Very good. We want you to be a partner with us over there at JTS. So many numbers and data that's going to help you scan that QR code. The first month is only $1 if you use the code NFL100. And they have adjusted so all of the football you can get starting on Tuesday, college and the NFL. So that's a great change over there at JTS. All right, Raphael, make me smarter.
We're going to the first Monday night game. The Houston Texans have won each of their last 8 games as a betting favorite following a loss.
Very interesting. Real quick, I've got the TV on over here. I missed the whole Liam Cohen, Trevor Lawrence thing yesterday. Did you guys see that? Liam saying he was pissed off because they missed the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, Liam was pounding his chest, telling Trevor, hit him in the chest, and Trevor gave him the old shoot.
I can't believe that. Yeah, they just play. I mean, he was just like, shut up. I can't understand what that conversation, DG, would be like after the game after that.
Yeah, I'm curious. I don't know how old Liam Cohen is, but I think that could be a struggle with how young he might be. And sometimes if you don't get that buy-in from your QB, it could be tough in the locker room. But I'm shocked that Trevor Lawrence kind of waved him off.
Me too. Gentlemen, well done today. It's going to be a busy, busy day. Producer man, need that one shot. And let's go over the schedule one more time. We have the podcast coming up around 11:15 a.m. Eastern time. I dive a little bit deeper into the biggest stories, usually 2 or 3. We never go longer than 20 or 30 minutes. Then 2 to 4 Eastern time, it is Off the Ropes with the Coach. Same time here on our YouTube channel, it is Weekday Wagers. They'll dive into Monday Night Football. Then at 5 Eastern, it's the Coach and Bro Show. You guys love that. The numbers are growing like crazy. And then, of course, 6:45 tonight, special start time, 2 games, the Monday Night Grind. Now, there's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. My entire company, love them all. My man DG, Zeno, Raphael, Big Chuck, Marky Model, and producer man always behind the scenes. I am simply the coach. Try to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's what we're all about. This is Coach and Company, presented by Afterburn, Stadium, and Bally Sports Live. Have a great day.